Paul places this chapter in the middle of a larger argument about spiritual gifts, worship, and disorder in the Corinthian community. The issue is not that the Corinthians lacked spirituality. The problem is that their spirituality was becoming competitive, self-displaying, and socially destructive. Scholars commonly note that chapter 13 sits between chapters 12 and 14, where Paul is addressing gifts like tongues, prophecy, knowledge, and their use in the gathered community. So when Paul says, "If I speak in human tongues, and even in angelic ones," he is not just praising love in general. He is cutting directly into Corinthian status culture. The most dazzling speech imaginable is just noise if it does not build others up. Then he moves to prophecy, mysteries, knowledge, and mountain-moving faith. These are not small things. Paul is naming the very things religious people often treat as proof of spiritual importance. But his point is severe. Without love, these things do not merely become less useful. The person becomes nothing. Even radical generosity is not safe from critique. A person can give everything away, even hand over the body, and still be driven by pride, display, or the need to be seen. That is why the "so that I may boast" reading in verse 3 is so striking. It exposes the possibility that even sacrifice can become self-centered. Then Paul defines love mostly by what it refuses to do. Love does not envy, brag, inflate itself, shame others, demand its own way, or keep a running account of wrongs. In other words, love is not a feeling floating above real life. It is disciplined behavior inside a community. And Paul is not saying love is gullible or passive. Love does not rejoice in injustice. It does not protect evil. It rejoices with truth. So love is not the denial of reality. It is the refusal to let selfishness, resentment, status, and injustice have the final word. The ending lifts the whole argument higher. Tongues, prophecy, and knowledge are partial. They belong to the present age of limited vision. We see indirectly, like a puzzling reflection in a mirror. But love lasts because love already belongs to the complete reality toward which everything is moving. Conclusion. Paul's point is not that love is nicer than spiritual power. His point is that love is the only thing that makes spiritual power meaningful. Gifts can impress people, knowledge can elevate a person, sacrifice can create admiration. But without love, all of it collapses into noise. Love is greatest because love is what remains when all partial things have served their purpose.